Hi, and welcome back to Jen and Dan's Natural Healing with Plants, the go-to podcast for holistic health seekers looking to harness the power of nature for health and healing. I'm Jen. I'm a passionate health educator, a whole food, plant-based culinary coach, and a master herbalist. I'm alone today. We'll talk about that. Together with Dan, usually, we dive into the world of natural healing, bringing you a wealth of knowledge and practical advice. We draw from both traditional wisdom and modern science with herbs and foods to help you achieve optimal health. So today is just me. Dan is away this week because of a family loss, and it didn't feel right to just jump into something technical like nothing has happened. So instead, I want to talk about something that is real, something that's touched me recently as well, and that's what to do when our health feels, I don't know how to explain it. Just kind of on pause. Maybe we feel numb. Maybe we even feel heavy because of a loss or grief or major change in our life. Because no matter how disciplined we are, no matter how clean we eat, how many herbs we know and study and buy, goodness knows I've bought a lot more than I actually use. Grief and stress, they affect the body differently for each person. We're all unique, and we never know how it's going to hit us or what's going to happen when we experience it. But having some different tools and things that we can use can really be helpful. And there are some things that we can do. There's just no way that you can really prepare for it. Even when you know you've heard, someone they're expected to pass any day now. I was even told any hour, and it went on for several days. When it actually happens, it's just definitely, it really hits you. And no matter what, we all experience loss in one way or another. So one thing that I have seen over and over again in myself and in those I care about is that emotional strain can really show up in many different ways. It can change our sleep. Maybe you're losing sleep. Maybe you can't even eat, or you just want to eat nonstop. Maybe you can't go to the bathroom, can't even have a bowel movement anymore. Um, you want constant comfort, or you want to be completely alone, or your mind won't stop spinning those monkey mind thoughts. We talk about that a lot in my Qigong class. So when those things happen, it's not because you've done something wrong. It's your nervous system's trying to process something that you weren't prepared for. Once again, even if you were told it could happen in any minute, once it happens, you don't know how you're going to respond, right? We can't really prepare for it. When we're grieving or when we're stressed, I've experienced a lot of stress too, our body will move into protection mode. And that slows everything down, including healing. And so if you're already inflamed, already struggling with some sort of chronic issue, then that can kind of flare things up. It stalls what's going on in the body. And so it also affects how we respond to this change or grief, those things as well. During these difficult seasons, I will use them because I think that there is a season when you've experienced a traumatic loss. It could even be, a loss of a pet. So many people, if you don't have children, your pets are your children. And even if you do have children, your pets are your children. I have 6 dogs, so believe me, I know. But we don't want to focus on having to do more things. I know when I experienced one loss, a close family member just went straight into go, 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 doing everything, cleaning the house, entertaining guests and stuff. And it was like, wait, you need to slow down, get grounded, and really learn to feel the feelings and let them out, and maybe by, doing all these other things, they were expressing their emotions. But I want to make sure that whatever you're doing, it is to let those emotions go out and not stuff them in, because that's our body stores emotions, and then that leads to disease later on down the line. So sometimes that could be something like having a cup of tea. This isn't a cup of tea, but it is tea, but not like a warm, comforting cup of tea, right? But sitting in silence, drinking your tea, not just doom scrolling. We get those dopamine hits by scrolling on our phone. You may notice you can go hours and you're not even realize you've been on your phone forever scrolling, but that's kind of numbing the pain, right? But we still want to feel the feels. Making sure that we're staying nourished. We can eat simple meals. They don't have to be complicated. Something simple, but it's still very nourishing, still plants, right? And walking outside. Even if you don't feel like it, if you can just get outside, depending on the weather, of course, if the weather's nice, get outside, breathe some fresh air, and get in tune with nature. I know a lot of times I have another client who also experienced loss recently, and we were talking about, birds. For some reason, there's something about birds that remind us of those who that we lost, and maybe it's because those that we lost really loved birds, and so maybe that's the connection. But getting out with nature and seeing, other life that's out there, and maybe not even having to talk to people unless you want to talk to people. Talking can be great too. Going to bed, making sure you're getting good quality rest, but not staying in bed all day, because that, we still need to move our body. Our bodies were made to move. And so you don't have to necessarily be productive, but moving the body, getting outside, and letting your body know that you're safe. Find your support person, someone you can talk to, and come up with some tools that you can use to express your emotions. For the monkey mind or circulating thoughts, you've probably experienced that before. You wake up in the middle of the night. For me, I'll wake up in the middle of the night, it's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I start thinking about some problem I need to solve, right? And I'm just thinking about it and coming up with solutions. And it's stuff that I can't do at 3 o'clock in the morning. Why am I thinking about this right now? But it just loops and replays and keeps going on and starts spiraling and grows and gets bigger. And so it just gets kind of crazy. So even in Qigong, we talk about the monkey mind and the clutter that gets in there. And we need to just calm it down, quiet it down, and recognize, okay, I'm having these thoughts. This is going around. But really, I can't handle it right now. And so, what is something else I could think about right now to let that go? Put that on pause. Maybe I need to get up and journal for a minute. Maybe I need to keep a notebook by the bed and just write down, okay, take care of this in the morning so that I can get it out of my loop so that I can sleep, right? But other times there are other things that we can do too. There are some certain herbs that can help because a lot of times that's just part of the anxiety and a nervous system that's out of balance. My main herb I like to use for that is passion flower. And so you can even grow passion flower. We grow them sometimes and dry them and use those. But we like the tincture. We also like the tea. And it's just really great for calming the mind. Even if you wake up at 3 a.m., taking a tincture of passion flower tea could be useful. So I didn't give a medical disclaimer. This information is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not your one-on-one coach unless I am. And if I am, we'll talk privately about whether or not these are right for you. For the rest of you, if you will do your own due diligence, research these herbs and see, would this be a good choice for me right now? So passion flower is my number one. Another great one is milky oats. It's an adaptogen that is wonderful for nervous system depletion. And so when you're feeling, just raw, you're just afraid, you're not really spiraling out of control, but you're just kind of feeling almost like you just don't know what to do next. Milky oats can be wonderful for that. Lemon balm. Lemon balm is really great for relaxing the mind, for mental tension. It has been used in several studies compared to medical prescriptions for anxiety medication and is just as effective. The only thing is it's a wild herb. It grows as a type of mint and it will spread all over the place. There's no way you could patent it, right? And so no one's really going to market it and promote it. But lemon balm is definitely one of mine for anxiety and calming the mental areas. Chamomile, if Dan were here, he would say that would be his number one. He likes it as a bedtime tea. It is wonderful for relaxing anxious thoughts and helping to calm the body. And then another one that's my go-to in times of grief is mimosa bark. It's actually the inner bark of the mimosa tree. It's that white part if you harvest your own, and I've harvested my own. The flowers are also very calming, but I find that the mimosa bark is really great for supporting grief and emotional stagnation, if you know what that is. So you're kind of stuck in that emotion. Mimosa is called the tree of happiness, and if you have a mimosa tree, it's just as beautiful. tiny little leaves. I don't even know you call them leaves, flowers, whatever. They're pink. It's just a beautiful tree. And it spreads also all over the place. It's very medicinal. But it's called the Tree of Happiness. And I have harvested the flowers and dried them for a pretty tea, but then I use the mimosa bark in times of grief. So when I've had the loss of a family member, mimosa bark is usually my go-to. So these herbs, they don't take the pain away. They don't erase the grief and the sadness, but they do help to relax your body so that you can work through the emotions and things like that. So I mentioned sleep earlier. So sleep is usually the first thing to go. Sleep, when you hear someone is, if you're able to have a warning, with like heart disease, the first warning sign can be death. And so maybe there was no sign at all. You just suddenly someone's gone. There's someone else that I know who just completely unexpectedly died in the middle of the night. And that's really scary and sad and sudden, and your emotions don't know where to go. But even when you've been told that someone's in the final phase of their life and it's time for them to move on, it's really hard to sleep. You lie down and your brain is trying to solve every problem out there, things that you haven't thought about in forever. All of a sudden, you're trying to solve these problems. And so, things that you want to do is make sure that you really, really focus on good sleep hygiene, of not having any stimulants in the afternoon or evening so that you can sleep as well as possible. Having a warm bedtime tea. We've had other podcast episodes about bedtime tea. Like I mentioned, Dan's favorite is chamomile. I like lemon balm and passion flower and valerian and lavender and tulsi. Those are all really great ones to me. Dimming the lights. So after dinner, we just turn down the lights, just minimal lights in the evening. Maybe journaling. You just empty everything out of your mind. Like I said before, if you wake up in the middle of the night and just jot on a pad of paper, whatever it is you're trying to hold in your head to remember in the morning, just go ahead, dump it on the piece of paper so you don't have to think about it and you can go back to sleep. But so journaling doesn't have to be something profound. You don't have to be an excellent writer. You're not writing a novel here or anything. It's just releasing whatever is going on in your mind, letting it go, putting it down, thoughts down on papers. I'm not a writer, but I remember after one family member died, I just sat down and just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And now what I have, it's been many years, it's been close to 20 years now. I have almost like a little mini book about my memories of this person. And so it's kind of nice to have that too. And then making sure that you are expressing. So unexpressed emotions are stored in different areas of the body. And so you want to make sure that you're recognizing your body in Qigong. We'll do a check. Sometimes in yoga or in meditations, you'll kind of scan the body. Do I feel tension in any areas? Tight shoulders, headaches, a knot in the stomach, a knot in the neck, those kind of things. Releasing those, doing whatever you can to release those, to open up the flow, to help those emotions come forward so that you can process those emotions and let them go. And so talking to other people, sharing with someone else, even if they can just listen or hold you or just knowing that they're there. Writing, journaling, like I said, cry, allow yourself to cry. That is such a great release. If you feel like you need to cry, cry. If you need to scream, scream. And if it's time for you to go and just sit in prayer, go and sit in prayer. Find a nice, quiet spot in your home, outside, maybe even in a sanctuary, a garden area, wherever is your special place. Go to your special place. Allow yourself to feel all the emotions and express them. Praying, I pray to God. I'm a practicing Christian, so is Dan, but for some of you, maybe you're not. And so whoever you can talk to, human on the earth or somewhere else is really great. Just knowing that there's something else out there that you can connect to. Walking in nature, like I said, thinking out loud, even talking to yourself. Who cares? Talk to the birds, the beautiful birds. And then maybe even creating something. Like I said, I have almost like this little mini book I wrote about somebody after they died But doing some, if you like art, doing some form of art, painting or working with clay or something like that. Maybe it's making a meal. Maybe the person's meal, whoever has passed, maybe making their favorite meal so those memories can resurface. So when you're experiencing these things and you have some sort of underlying chronic disease, maybe you have a flare coming up, it doesn't mean that your health is going to fall apart. It just means it's time for you to start adapting to what's going on, working through the emotions, taking the time to care for yourself. Maybe you need to take a nap today. Maybe you don't need to work out. Walk, move your body because that's what it's made to do, but allow yourself to rest. Allow yourself to have time with other people and do what feels supportive to you right now. For me, practicing Qigong has really been great, especially with my recent loss. Um, it doesn't mean going and eating the most healthy food you can find because you need to nourish your body. Yes, you do need to nourish your body. And so choosing something that's comforting. What's a comforting food to you that still adds minerals? Maybe it's a soup, maybe it's a smoothie. Um, Maybe you just need to have something quick and easy so that you can go and lie down and rest and spend time with those you love. So if you are going through something heavy right now, it is winter and cold as I'm recording this. And so it's hard when we're feeling that weather's gloomy and we're already feeling gloomy. It's hard to lift those spirits up. And you don't have to fake it right now. Feel the feels, feel what's going on in your body, and know that this is just something you're passing through. And you will get through this and you will feel better. You don't have to practice all of your discipline. You don't have to do all the right things right now. Being gentle and kind to your body. Talk to those around you. Use herbs and nutrients to help to support your body and lean into those that are there and around you. And if you don't know someone that's around you, sitting in silence and praying to someone, a higher power, whatever is there for you, sitting in nature and talking to the birds. It sounds woo-woo, but it can be very, very helpful. Um, and you can always reach out to us. If you're feeling really alone, comment with us, and we will help to help you just know that someone else is out here, right? So thank you for being with me today on Natural Healing with Plants. Dan will be back soon, and then I'm on vacation. So then Dan will be doing a solo cast, and we'll go through this together. We'll experience this loss together. I didn't know the person that has moved on in his life, but we can still support each other and be there for each other and recognize when someone needs to step away and needs that support. So until next time, take care of your nervous system. If you are already using techniques like journaling and meditating or Qigong or these beautiful herbs I talked about, I would love to hear about it. Let me know. And if there's something else you'd like for us to talk about in our podcast, we want to hear that too. So like and subscribe to our channel, share it with someone that you love, and I will join you next time. But before I leave, if you'd like to find out more about Dan, go to danthenaturalman.com. And to find out more about me, Holistic Jen, that is with a W, WHOLISTIC, Jen, JEN.com. And until then, I'll see you next week.